Have you ever felt it? That strange pressure in the air, like the universe itself is holding its breath, waiting for you to notice? It's not your imagination. There are moments in life when reality bends, when something deep inside whispers that you were meant for more than ordinary days and quiet survival. You weren't just dropped into this world by chance. You were sent. Maybe lately you felt restless, like your spirit is waking up to something your mind can't fully name. That's not confusion. That's the sound of your higher calling, breaking through the noise. The reason you face so much resistance, so many closed doors, is because destiny doesn't visit the unprepared. It visits those who've been tempered in silence, molded by pressure and refined by pain. This moment, right here, right now, isn't random. It's divine timing. The unseen has been arranging itself for you, aligning every challenge and heartbreak into a pattern you'll soon understand. You are not behind. You are right on schedule. The universe doesn't make mistakes, and you, chosen one, are the proof. Because the shift that's coming, it isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you. The heavens have grown silent, not out of absence but restraint. They watched your crossroads stretch thin, your choices pulled the very thread of your future. The prayers you whispered have not been ignored. They've been weighed. What's hidden has been revealed in the divine register, and now grace begins to transform into justice. The message is clear. Stop walking toward what poisons your promise. This isn't an invitation to comfort, but a confrontation with truth. The delay you mistaken for safety is only mercy running out of time. Every pulse of the unseen realm is shifting faster than lightning striking the ocean skin. What you decide in this breath will either open the gates of favor or summon storms meant to reroute you. This isn't a call for applause or ritual. It's a covenant of obedience. A spiritual tide has turned, and those still half asleep will be swept away by what they refuse to release. If your heart still stirs at these words, you're not reading by accident. You're being chosen to respond. The sound that moves now isn't the whisper of comfort, but the roar of awakening. The divine isn't distant. It's stirring with holy urgency. The Creator isn't furious because of rejection, but because your path is collapsing under illusions you've refused to break. Signs, symbols, and miracles have already been placed like breadcrumbs, yet blindness persists. The time of patience is thinning. This is not punishment, but preservation. Fire only burns what refuses to transform, and you've been standing too long in the middle of what must either end or be consumed. The unseen is trembling. What looks like silence is the inhale before a divine storm. When heaven can no longer wait, it doesn't speak softly. It shakes foundations. The hand that once guided gently now prepares to strike through stagnation. You can surrender now or be redirected through chaos later. The choice is not about fear, but alignment. Cycles of false comfort and attachment have lingered too long. The decay must be severed, not delayed. Every comfort you cling to is the anchor delaying your ascension. This isn't about loss. It's a purification. The divine is removing what dilutes your strength, not out of cruelty but necessity. Imagine a sculptor faced with marble that refuses to yield. The chisel becomes sharper the longer it resists. That's what this season feels like. God offering one final chance to release what cannot ascend with you. The weight you carry is not sentimental. It's lethal to your calling. Surrender it willingly, or it will be taken painfully. If this message hit your soul, don't just scroll. Hit subscribe and stay with the light. The truth is, what you've been protecting is what's been draining you. The familiar faces, the familiar patterns. They've been feeding on your light like vines around a fading tree. Not all who stand beside you are meant to rise with you. Some were sent only to teach you discernment through disappointment. You've poured out until your spirit runs thin, thinking it was kindness. But this is your awakening. Not all thirst deserve your cup. Spiritual exhaustion is not sacrifice. It's suffocation disguised as loyalty. Peace is no longer optional. It's a commandment for those carrying divine purpose. The next elevation requires emptiness of what no longer serves your destiny. Protect your inner ground with the same ferocity heaven guards its throne. You were never meant to sustain others at the cost of your own flame. Those who only approach to take your warmth will never walk in your light. Let them fade into the background of their own lessons. The sacred is not a public well. It's a sanctuary, and your spirit is overdue for silence. There comes a time when the very connections you once thought were sacred begin to suffocate the breath of your purpose. Not all who surround you are supporters. Some are siphons dressing concern, feeding on your peace while avoiding your growth. They are drawn not to your soul, but to the warmth it provides, fleeing when accountability demands truth. You were not shaped to serve as a bottomless well for those unwilling to find their own source of strength. Your light was never meant to be dimmed by those who fear illumination. What clings to you without nourishing you is not loyalty. It's corrosion disguised as companionship. These attachments don't just exhaust your heart. They blur your intuition, dull your spirit, and replace divine focus with emotional fog. The longer you allow their weight, the further your inner compass spins away from direction. The exhaustion you feel after certain conversations isn't confusion. It's your soul signaling contamination. There are habits, people, and patterns that steal your hours in silence, leaving you spiritually hollow. It's time to purge what poisons your path. Everything that doesn't breathe life into your calling is draining it. Life was never designed to be a loop of depletion. Purpose doesn't thrive in clutter. It needs air, clarity, space. You weren't sent here to simply exist, to blend into a background of comfort and conformity. You were birthed to create tremors and stagnation, to spark change where others settle for safety. But somewhere along the journey, the world's noise seduced your focus, and the sacred call within you began to fade beneath the static of imitation. The thirst for acceptance replaced a hunger for truth, and stillness turned into slumber. Now, the higher realm is stirring you awake. You can no longer sleepwalk through sacred assignments. Every pause in obedience echoes across unseen dimensions, costing more than you realize. Lost opportunities don't just vanish. They ripple through destinies tied to yours. Complacency doesn't always appear as rest. It often hides in constant distraction. It's in the quiet whisper that says later, in the mind that scrolls through nonsense while the spirit stars for revelation. This slow erosion of urgency is the greatest theft of all. Heaven is sounding the horn. Move before your purpose is buried under routine. That restlessness you've been mistaking for anxiety is not fear. It's divine discomfort. It's the inner alarm reminding you that your calling has been waiting too long. The opposition doesn't always arrive with chaos. Sometimes it lulls you into comfort until your fire fades to embers. The dark doesn't destroy the chosen. It delays them until their destiny decays. You've asked for a sign, and this is it. Act. This is not the season for idling. It's the season for ignition. Those called to lead cannot afford to linger in hesitation. Soldiers of light cannot nap through trumpet calls. You've been marked for impact, but anointing without action is just potential wasted. Heaven cannot move through apathy. Rise in discipline. Feed your mind. Strengthen your discernment. Sharpen your will. Treat your divine mission like sacred ground, because it is. Every miracle ever recorded was preceded by unseen labor, by seasons of shaping, silence, and struggle. The quiet right now is not emptiness. It's apprenticeship. The unseen realm is forging you for something immense. If you waste this shaping, you'll step into visibility unready, and exposure without preparation becomes humiliation instead of elevation. Isolation often disguises itself as loneliness, but it's holy construction. The pruning you feel isn't punishment. It's precision. People may drift away. Pleasures may suddenly lose their flavor. This isn't sadness, it's refinement. You are being drawn out from the crowd to strengthen your focus, cleanse your mind, and stretch your capacity. Every ounce of pressure is carving power into your soul. Diamonds are not molded in leisure. They're born in resistance. Stop mistaking the breaking for abandonment. It's birth. If you believe in this mission, drop a $20 donation to keep this truth alive and free. Not every voice that speaks light carries truth. The loudest often echo confusion wrapped in charm. Some influencers, advisors, even spiritual figures speak words that sound sweet but carry no authority. Be ruthless with what you allow into your spirit. Ask yourself, does this awaken me or sedate me? Does it challenge my growth or cradle my stagnation? Discernment is no longer optional. It's survival. Destiny demands clarity, and not all guidance leads toward glory. Some paths glow at the beginning only to end in fog. Protect your direction. Your soul's mission cannot afford the luxury of blind following when the next move defines eternity. Many carry polished masks, so convincing that even the spirit hesitates before seeing through them. Not every fire that burns bright is holy, and not every voice that stirs emotion carries truth. Some are masters of performance, eloquent, magnetic, and hollow. Illusion dresses itself in sincerity, and many mistake noise for anointing. But wisdom walks a quiet path, not the crowded one. The true calling often hides in stillness, while imitation thrives in spectacle. The narrow road will never be fashionable, yet it is the only one that leads upward. Silence the static of opinion. Let the sacred frequency of your soul tune itself back to divine rhythm. The world shouts, but heaven whispers, and only those who still their hearts will hear it. The unseen realm has been speaking for longer than you realize. Warnings have arrived through dreams, delays, and disruptions that you called setbacks but were actually rescues. Doors that refused to open were not rejection. They were redirections. Yet despite every sign, the feet kept walking toward the familiar abyss. The divine watches not in fury but in sorrow as souls drift towards self-destruction wearing smiles of denial. The consequence isn't only yours. It echoes through generations unborn. You stand at the threshold where mercy meets decision. Every hesitation feeds decay. Heaven cannot remain silent forever when purpose is being dismantled by compromise. There are choices that bruise a spirit more deeply than visible wounds. Some call it comfort, but it's captivity wrapped in familiarity. Fear has disguised itself as wisdom. Complacency has borrowed the face of peace. But the sacred cannot coexist with the counterfeit. The time for gentle reminders has passed. The Creator dismantles what you refuse to release, not in vengeance, but in mercy. It is rescue by fire, redemption through collapse. You can submit to transformation willingly, or be pulled through it painfully. The crossroads offer two paths: repentance or ruin, surrender or storm. Heaven is no longer still. The spirit that once whispered now shakes foundations. The sudden endings, the disappearances, the losses, they are not chaos but correction. What you perceive as rejection is precision, the holy act of reorganization. The divine hand is extracting you from places and people unable to survive in your next season. It may sting, it may bleed, but it's surgery, not punishment. The decay beneath the surface must be removed before it infects destiny. Every painful detachment is an answered prayer disguised as disaster. The holy refinement always feels like abandonment before it reveals its purpose. The pruning comes before the promise. The losses that haunt you are not curses. They are invitations to clarity. Some connections look healthy on the outside, but carry hidden rot within. Left uncut, they would have consumed your spiritual marrow. The removal is messy because purification always is. Healing begins the moment you stop clutching what's been divinely discarded. You ask for expansion. This is a clearing that makes it possible. Grieve if you must, but understand this. Purity costs connection. When heaven filters your circle, it's not cruelty, it's construction. The loneliness you feel is sacred space being prepared for new alignment. Every separation is a shield. Every closed door a sanctuary you don't yet see. You are not being exiled. You are being refined into distinction. The sacred cannot dwell in contamination, and the light you carry demands a higher atmosphere. The ones who left were not stolen by fate. They were escorted out by grace. What you called loss was divine preservation. If they had remained, their presence would have diluted your purpose. You are not being cut off. You are being carved out for impact. Let what's gone stay gone. Do not resurrect what heaven has buried. The holy always removes before it restores. Release with gratitude. For protection rarely feels peaceful at first, but it is always purposeful. Your energy, your time, your focus. These are not public offerings. They are sacred altars. Guard them with reverence, for what you allow to drain you will one day define you, if this spoke to your spirit. Subscribe and stand with those who see beyond the illusion. There is a sacred rhythm to energy, and those who ignore it end up bleeding power into places never meant to hold it. Every draining conversation, every task that leaves your spirit limp, these are not coincidences. They are signals. Life reveals truth through fatigue. Anything that dims your clarity, that silences your joy, that keeps your soul heavy, is no longer a lesson. It's a warning. You weren't formed to crawl through existence gasping for breath. You were designed to rise, to bloom, to multiply what's divine within you. Growth begins when stewardship replaces exhaustion. Peace is not a luxury. It's armor. Guard it like your destiny depends on it. Because it does. The sacred cannot operate in chaos. Vision requires rest. Revelation requires stillness. And discernment requires distance from noise. The next chapter demands precision, not panic. Protect the space where your spirit breathes. Stop explaining truth to those who enjoy misunderstanding it. Energy is currency in the spiritual realm. Spend it wisely. Every atmosphere you allow around you either builds your temple or vandalizes it. Stop forcing what keeps collapsing. You've wrestled, wept, and worn yourself out trying to resuscitate what heaven already buried. The resistance you feel isn't demonic. It's divine. The hand you're fighting is not an enemy's, but your creator's redirection. What looks like failure is actually a reroute. The path that's closing is not punishment. It's preservation. Attachment blinds you to direction. Emotion can't read maps. Every time you cling to what's expired, you choose confusion over calling. Release it before it rots your vision. Blueprints change because builders mature. The plan isn't collapsing. It's being rewritten. You ask for purpose, not convenience. Obedience will never fit comfortably into control. Surrender is the only door that still opens when every other shuts. Every breakthrough begins with letting go of the version of your life that was never designed to carry the weight of your purpose. History's greatest transformations began with divine interruption. The detour isn't delay, it's development. You're not wandering. You're being refined into accuracy. Stop begging heaven to bless what it never built. The new era unfolding before you won't honor counterfeit stability. A spiritual tremor is approaching, one that will divide the distracted from the devoted. Those unprepared will confuse correction for chaos. This is a final nudge before movement becomes mandatory. The divine timeline doesn't pause for hesitation. Delayed surrender is rebellion disguised as reasoning. The shift will either elevate or expose, depending on where your roots are. The shaking is already in motion. Relationships fading, desires changing, inner hunger growing. It's not confusion, it's calibration. The atmosphere of the earth is thick with transition. Those anchored in spirit will stand firm. Those anchored in comfort will collapse. You can sense it in the tension of the air. Change is not coming. It has already begun. Preparation is no longer optional. Build before the flood. Focus before the noise. Those who construct early will endure what others fear. You've always felt the difference, the displacement, the subtle awareness that normal would never fit you. That was never a flaw. It was prophecy. The opposition wasn't random. It was recognition. Darkness saw your potential long before you did. Every attempt to crush you was a miscalculated warning shot. And still, you stand. That survival is your proof of purpose. Now is the hour to move from survival into dominion. No more shrinking to fit small spaces. No more negotiations with mediocrity. The sacred keys of influence are waiting for hands brave enough to grasp them. The heavens are poised. Destiny isn't emotional, it's decisive. Rise while time still bends toward obedience. The storm isn't coming to destroy you. It's coming to reveal who is truly grounded all along. Every disruption that shakes your world isn't sent to destroy you. It's meant to disinfect your atmosphere. The upheaval around you is divine sanitation, clearing out what's been contaminating your spirit. When your life is anchored in truth, the chaos will not consume you. It will cleanse you. Preparation isn't panic. It's obedience. It means strengthening your soul before the tremor, seeking silence when distraction feels easier, and surrender what weighs you down before it pulls you under. The coming turbulence will not only expose fragility, but unveil hidden resilience. What feels like collapse is often construction in disguise. Don't pray for the storm to end. Build yourself to endure it. Secure your heart. Reinforce your thoughts. Train your faith until it no longer trembles. The very force that threatens to break you is the one assigned to refine you. This is a moment of sacred division, a quiet separation taking place beneath the surface. The divine is filtering intentions, distinguishing authenticity from imitation. What once felt harmonious will suddenly feel heavy. You'll sense it before you see it. People drifting, spaces losing their warmth, conversations turning hollow. It's not rejection, it's refinement. You ask for clarity, and clarity requires cleansing. Some faces once trusted will reveal their true motives, not through confrontation but through distance. What disappears in the season is not being taken, it's being sorted. Elevation requires extraction, and not everyone can breathe where you're going. Holiness isn't perfection, it's purpose stripped of pollution. Every environment you've outgrown begins to suffocate you before you're strong enough to leave. The detachment is divine. The names fading from your circle, the opportunities dissolving, the invitations that no longer come, all of it is orchestration. The unseen hand is editing your narrative, erasing what would have diluted your next chapter. The pain of subtraction is only temporary. It's the echo of deliverance. Some losses are not theft, they're protection. You're being escorted out of danger disguised as disappointment. The circles that exclude you are the very ones heaven is shielding you from. Every unseen conversation, every door that's shut without warning, is an answered prayer you didn't realize you made. Elevation often begins in erasure. You are not being deleted. You are being redrafted for purpose. While you mourn what was, heaven rejoices over what's coming. You're not being silenced. You're being repositioned. When your name leaves the wrong mouths, it becomes free to enter the right ones. Stop chasing rooms unfit for your light. Gratitude is your weapon. Thank the divine for every door that refused to open, for every voice that stopped calling. Silence is neglect. It's incubation. You're being prepared for visibility that won't collapse under its own weight. But every revelation carries an expiration. The window for transformation is open now, but it won't remain so forever. Grace has always been generous, but never endless. Many mistake heaven's quiet as consent when it's actually countdown. The world mocked Noah's urgency until the first drops fell. Do not confuse stillness for safety. Opportunity is time-sensitive in the spiritual realm. The invitation is extended, but it must be accepted before the flood of change arrives. This isn't alarmism, it's awareness. Every warning is a mercy in disguise. Ignore it, and mercy turns to momentum, pushing you where surrender could have led you gently. And this isn't isolated, it's global. The structures built on illusion are shaking. Nations, economies, institutions, all being tested for authenticity. The tremor that's coming will not be physical first, but spiritual. The division won't be between strong and weak, but between anchored and aimless. Those rooted in truth will remain calm as the world trembles, their stability becoming refuge for others. When confusion floods the airwaves, the grounded will become guides. Their peace will carry authority. Their voice will steady the frightened. This is why the inner cleansing had come first, to prepare you to be the stillness in a storming world. Turn down the noise, detach from the narratives of fear, and nourish your soul with what doesn't expire. When panic spreads, your peace will preach louder than words. Your $20 gift helps keep the truth shining where darkness try to hide it. There's a reason the winds have begun to howl. It's not to bury you, but to broadcast you. The coming turbulence is not destruction, it's revelation. You're being shaped into a beacon meant to pierce through the world's darkness, and only those rooted in truth will remain when illusions collapse. The shaking is the unveiling, the stripping away of every false alliance and quiet deception that once stood near you. Faces will change, voices will turn. What you thought was loyalty will reveal itself as disguise. The sting of betrayal is not punishment, it's purification. The masks that fall now are the mercy that sets you free. Do not retaliate. Do not explain. The silence you keep will carry more authority than any rebuttal. While others slander, build. While they whisper, prepare. What feels like exposure is actually your induction into higher purpose. Better a visible enemy than a hidden traitor. Every revelation is proof that the next level is unlocking. This next era demands composure over chaos. You are not being provoked to war. You're being positioned for influence. Let justice belong to the unseen hand, while you focus on what was promised. The noise of accusation cannot drown the frequency of divine strategy. Every loss you endure now clears a path for elevation. What was meant to humiliate, you will become the headline of your rise. Keep your posture steady. This isn't combat, it's birth. Something sacred is being poured out. A new level of power, clarity, and authority, but it will not rest on the distracted or the undisciplined. Only those who have trained their inner world to hold weight will carry it forward. The lazy will watch, the casual will comment, but the disciplined will receive. Power without preparation destroys its carrier. The sacred fire descending now is not for comfort, but for endurance. The price of this kind of oil is focus. Saying no to what once entertained you. Staying awake while others sleep. Staying hungry while others feast. This season requires sanctified obsession. The reward isn't applause, it's alignment. The anointing doesn't come cheaply. It demands old habits as its offering. The exchange is costly but divine. Clarity instead of confusion. Strength instead of stagnation. Access instead of anxiety. If you want to carry it, make room, empty the vessel, remove what leaks. Heaven will not pour into clutter, but many still cling to what's already turned to dust. They're holding on to expired versions of themselves, nursing friendships that drained them, resurrecting opportunities that died quietly long ago. You cannot inhabit the new while mourning the old. The past was a classroom, not a destination. Gratitude is a graduation. Refusing to release what's finished is not loyalty, it's resistance. When the divine closes a chapter, lingering turns blessing into burden. Nothing new can be born in the graveyard of what's gone. Let the dead rest. The soil that once nourished you cannot contain the roots of who you are becoming. You've outgrown what used to sustain you. The ground beneath you is cracking because your spirit has expanded beyond its borders. You're not being abandoned. You're being transplanted. Honor the past, but don't idolize it. Bless it, bury it, and move forward. Revival doesn't happen where clinging continues. The delay is over, but obedience must be instant. Hesitation is rebellion disguised as reflection. This is not a time for cautious steps. It's a summons for decisive faith. Each act of immediate obedience unlocks acceleration. The faster you move in alignment, the quicker favor finds you. Every moment you delay, stagnation regains ground. Grace is real, but it was never meant to be a hiding place for indecision. It is a bridge, not a bed. Many confuse covering for consent. Just because consequence hasn't arrived yet doesn't mean the warning wasn't issued. Mercy has been shielding you while you transform, but that shelter is temporary. What hasn't been confronted will soon collapse under its own weight. The danger isn't wrath, it's wasted potential. Sin doesn't just offend, it erodes. It numbs your hearing, drains your authority, and binds your destiny in slow decay. Repentance isn't humiliation, it's protection. Obedience isn't control, it's deliverance. The divine isn't demanding your perfection, only your response. Move now while grace still stretches toward you. The storm isn't against you, it's clearing the air for your unveiling. There comes a moment when grace feels heavy in the air, when divine patience stretches thin, urging movement before the veil protection shifts. This is that moment. The hand that's been shielding you won't hover indefinitely. The warning isn't cruelty, it's compassion. What surrounds you now isn't coincidence, it's orchestration. Every delay, every sudden silence, every door that slammed without reason was a message wrapped in mercy. There are snares woven beneath familiar ground, traps stitched with false promises and smiling faces. But what the unseen realm intended as an ambush, heaven is already disarming. The threads of manipulation are snapping one by one. The plans set to cage you are collapsing under divine interference. The exposure deception is not random, it's response. You cried out, even when your voice trembled and the unseen heard. Heaven doesn't ignore tears shed in silence. What once seemed like chaos has been recalibrated into divine intervention. The schemes against you are now unraveling in the hands of the very one who designed freedom. The enemy built the snare, but he miscalculated the watchfulness of the eternal. What was designed to capture, you will become the evidence of your preservation. You are being delivered in layers, released even before you knew you were bound. Don't mistake this unraveling for loss. It's liberation disguised as disruption. What feels like things falling apart is actually the blueprint of escape unfolding. Heaven is not scrambling to save you. It's executing a plan that's been in motion since the first prayer you whispered in desperation. The terrain around you may shake, but it's only to loosen what was never meant to hold you. Every spiritual knot tied in darkness is being untangled by divine precision. You are being extracted from sabotage before it swallows your strength. And when the noise fades, when the familiar becomes distant, you'll notice a strange quiet. It won't be abandonment. It'll be divine stillness. This isn't exile. It's elevation under isolation. The solitude pressing in on you is not punishment. It's consecration. Heaven has placed you in a spiritual quarantine, not to limit you, but to strip away interference before your unveiling. The silence surrounding you is incubation. Every unseen moment is preparation for exposure on the right stage. You are not forgotten. You are being refined away from contamination. This pause is protection. The loneliness you feel is the womb of your next assignment forming. What looks like delay is sacred alignment. Heaven hides its warriors before revealing them, not to conceal weakness, but a perfect readiness. The shield hasn't lifted to abandon you. It's shifting to push you forward. Move now. The path is being cleared even as you take your first step. The storm behind you was never meant to consume you. It was designed to propel you into purpose, purified, wiser, and unstoppable.